The message came before the hallway did. You watching echoes of family. Here's how it unfolded.
Cool, I said into the phone, my voice steady. Then I added one sentence. Then everything will be canceled. There was a pause. The kind that tells you someone finally realized they went too far. My name is Olivia. I'm 28 years old. And Christmas has always been my responsibility. Not the smiling photos, not the praise, the planning, the fixing, the quiet work that made my mother look perfect. So when she told me I wasn't needed this year, not invited, not welcome, something shifted. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I stopped protecting her holiday. And that was the moment her perfect Christmas began to fall apart. Before we go on, tell me where you're listening from right now. A quiet kitchen, a parked car, or a room you finally have to yourself. This is Echoes of Life, and you're not alone here. I didn't choose to become the one who handled Christmas. It was handed to me, piece by piece, year after year. At first, it sounded small. Can you send the group message? Can you pick up Grandma? Can you cover the groceries and we'll settle later? Later never came. By my early 20s, December stopped feeling like a holiday. It felt like a deadline. I tracked guest lists on my phone, budgets in my notes app. Who needed rides? Who didn't get along? Who would complain no matter what? My mother loved to say, I couldn't do this without you, but she never meant beside her. She meant behind her. When something went wrong, she called me in a panic. When it went right, she stepped forward smiling. People praised her cooking, her warmth, her perfect family traditions. No one saw me leaving work early to shop. Staying up past midnight fixing plans she forgot she approved. Paying deposits because my card was already saved. Ryan, my brother, showed up with jokes and an empty trunk. Everyone laughed. I showed up with lists and receipts. Everyone expected it. I paid for candles, decorations, extra food just in case. When I asked to be paid back, my mom sighed like I'd disappointed her. Why are you making it about money? This is family. So I stopped asking. I told myself this was what being dependable looked like. That this was love. That I mattered because things fell apart without me. But slowly I noticed something. I wasn't included in decisions. I was informed after. I wasn't thanked. I was relied on. And when my mother finally said, "No one needs you this Christmas," it didn't come out of nowhere. It confirmed what I'd been afraid to admit. I wasn't her daughter in December. I was her unpaid labor. And once you see that clearly, you can't unsee it. The week before Christmas, the house always changed. Not louder, not happier, heavier. I could feel it in my body before I understood it in words. Most nights, I stood in the kitchen scrolling through emails. Work reminders, schedule changes. A message from my boss thanking me for staying late again. In the living room, my mom talked about centerpieces, about lighting, about how the table had to look effortless. Effortless for her meant invisible for me. She'd call out without turning around. Did you remind Aunt Claire about the allergy thing? Can you grab more napkins tomorrow? We might need extra chairs, just in case. Just in case always meant me. My phone buzzed constantly. Cousins asking what time to arrive. Uncles asking what to bring. Grandma asking if someone was picking her up. They didn't ask my mom. They asked me. At work, I ate lunch at my desk. At home, I stood while everyone else sat. My body learned how to be tired without complaining. Ryan drifted in and out. He joked. He teased me about being intense. My mom laughed and said she likes being in control. That wasn't control. That was survival. I noticed small things I couldn't ignore anymore. My name missing from group photos. Decisions already made when I walked into the room. Plans announced like I was staff being briefed. When I tried to step back even slightly, the tone changed. You okay? You're being weird. Don't start something now. So I stopped reacting. I told myself it was temporary, that after Christmas I'd rest, that this was just the season. But then came the phone call. My mom's voice was calm, almost kind. No one needs you to come this year. And suddenly, everything lined up. The exhaustion, the resentment I'd been swallowing, the way my role only existed when it was useful. I realized something sitting alone in my kitchen that night. They didn't notice how much I did because my doing made their lives comfortable. And comfort makes people careless. I had spent years protecting the holiday, the image, the peace. And in doing that, I'd erased myself. That night I didn't cry. I opened my notes app and started listing everything I handled. Not to prove a point, but to see the truth written down. Because once you document what you carry, you start asking why you're the only one lifting it. If this were your family, what would you do? Comment 1 if you'd stay quiet to keep the peace. Comment 2 if you'd finally stop carrying what was never yours alone. The call came 3 days later. Not a text, not a message in the group chat, a direct call. My mom didn't sound angry. She sounded efficient. Olivia, she said, we've been talking. That was never good. We think it's best if this year is smaller, less complicated, less stress. I waited. She cleared her throat. So you don't need to come. Not can you skip, not we'll miss you. You don't need to come. For a moment, my mind went completely quiet. Then she added gently, we've already booked everything. It wouldn't be fair to cancel now. Fair. The word landed wrong. So Ryan's going, I said. Yes, she replied quickly. He really needs this break. I didn't argue. I didn't ask questions. I just listened as she explained logistics that no longer included me. When the call ended, I stood in my kitchen staring at the black screen of my phone. And something shifted. Not anger, not sadness. Clarity. I walked through the house slowly. The dining table I paid for. The chairs I ordered. The decorations stored in boxes I labeled. Every candle. Every playlist. Every tradition. Mine. I opened my laptop and pulled up old emails. Vendor confirmations. Payment receipts. Saved cards under my name. I hadn't noticed before how much of Christmas was technically mine. Not emotionally. Legally. The catering order was under my account. The linen rental too. Even the musician. Because my mom hated paperwork. I trust you, she always said. That trust felt different now. I called the caterer first. Hi, I said calmly. I need to cancel an order scheduled for the 25th. No explanation required. Then the rental company. Then the florist. Each cancellation was quiet. Professional. No drama, no revenge speech. Just consequences. That evening, I opened the family group chat. I didn't write much. Just this. Hey everyone. Plans changed this year. I'll be hosting a small Christmas at my place instead. Totally understand if you already have other plans. I hit send. Then I sat back and waited. Replies came faster than I expected. Oh, thank God. We were only coming because of you. A smaller thing sounds nice. My phone buzzed again. A missed call from my mom. Then another. For the first time, I didn't rush to fix it, because the truth had finally caught up. And once it does, there's no pretending it was an accident. That was the moment I stopped protecting her perfect holiday and started protecting myself. The fallout didn't explode. It spread, slowly, quietly, like cold seeping through thin walls. My phone kept buzzing, cousins asking questions, aunts double-checking plans, uncles confused about locations. No one yelled. That was the worst part. Mom called again that night. I didn't answer. Ryan texted instead. What did you do? Mom is freaking out. She says you're sabotaging Christmas. I stared at the screen. Then I replied once. I'm not sabotaging anything. I just stopped doing it. No response. The next morning, Mom showed up in person. No warning. No apology. She stood in my doorway, arms crossed, eyes sharp. What is wrong with you? She demanded. I didn't invite her in. What's wrong, I said, is that you told me I wasn't needed. She scoffed. You're being dramatic. That word again. You always do this when it isn't about you. I kept my voice flat. I walked to the table and opened my laptop. Everything you canceled, I said, I paid for. Her face shifted. Not guilt. Calculation. You wouldn't dare, she said. I already did. She laughed once, sharp and hollow. You think this makes you powerful? You're humiliating me. No, I replied. I stopped hiding for you. Ryan stepped in behind her. Mom, he said quietly. Maybe we should talk. She snapped toward him. So now you're taking her side? And there it was. The split. The thing she avoided for years by letting me absorb everything. Now there was no buffer. By noon, the story was changing. Not because I explained. Because people noticed. Grandma called me directly. I don't understand, she said softly. Your mother says you abandoned Christmas. I didn't, I told her. I just stopped running it. A long pause. Then, I wish I'd known. That hurt more than yelling. By day 2, the group chats fractured. Smaller threads. Side calls. Quiet questions. Mom tried to control it. She's sensitive. She's overreacting. She always does this. But people were comparing notes now. Who handled the reminders? Who coordinated the rides? Who paid the deposits? Who always showed up first? The illusion cracked. That night, Ryan came to my place. Not angry, just tired. "She's blaming you for everything," he said. "I know," I replied. "She says you ruined her holiday." I looked around my apartment. Warm lights, food cooking, people arriving because they chose to. "I didn't ruin anything," I said. I removed myself from the lie. Ryan swallowed. "I don't think she knows how to fix this." I shrugged. She never tried to fix me either. For the first time, no one asked me to smooth it over. They were finally sitting in the silence I'd carried alone, and they hated how empty it felt without me. Christmas morning was quiet. Not empty, not sad. Just still. Sunlight slipped through the blinds of my apartment. The kind that doesn't rush you. The kind that lets you breathe. I made coffee and stood barefoot on the kitchen floor. No group chats buzzing. No last-minute crises. No one asking me to fix anything. For the first time in years, Christmas wasn't a performance. It was just mine. People arrived slowly. Not because they were obligated, because they wanted to be there. Grandma hugged me longer than usual. Ryan stayed quiet, but present. No one needed a script. We ate when the food was ready, laughed when something burned, let the day unfold without forcing it. At some point, I realized something simple. I wasn't waiting for my mom to call anymore. Not for an apology, not for permission, not for approval. I already had what I needed. The truth didn't fix everything. It didn't erase the years I lost. It didn't magically turn my family into something healthy. But it did one thing. It stopped me from disappearing. I didn't walk away to punish her. I walked away to stop betraying myself. Boundaries didn't make me cruel. They made me visible. Later that night, after everyone left, I sat on the couch in the soft glow of the tree lights. The same couch I once paid for so someone else could look good. Now it held me. I thought about the girl who stayed quiet, who swallowed disappointment, who believed love meant being useful. She did the best she could, but she doesn't run my life anymore. If this story felt familiar, if you've ever been told you were too much, only when you stopped giving everything, know this. You're not hard to love. You were just being used. If this resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more stories of quiet strength on Echoes of Life. More stories are coming.